Thank you to everyone. Welcome to our first sponsor lightning session of NASIG 2020. It's presented by representatives from 4 of our conference sponsors. Each sponsor is going to speak for about 6 minutes, and then we'll field questions at the end using the Zoom Q&A. If there are questions we don't have time to answer, if you think of other questions, we'll be monitoring the NASIG forum over the next few weeks. As a reminder, the code of conduct applies to all the discussions and presentations, and the links to these items are available on the website. If you're tweeting, please keep using the NASIG hashtag NASIG 2020. All right. Thank you to all of our sponsors for making the conference freely available. Today, I'm excited to hear more from our reps at Paula Brewster at EBSCO, Andrew Clinton at American Chemical Society, Dave Solano at DeGruyter, and Heather Pewar at our research about what the organizations have been working on. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to our first sponsor speaker today. Andrew from American Chemical Society, are you ready to present?
Sure.
Sure. Thank y'all for being flexible.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name's Andrew Clinton, and I am the Marketing Manager for Community and Platform Outreach at ACS Publications, and I'm based in Washington, D.C. So ACS Publications is a division of the American Chemical Society, and we support our researchers through publication of more than 60 journals, ebooks, scientific programs, and our news magazine, Chemical and Engineering News. We continue to expand our offerings and improve existing resources to help our scientists accelerate their research and to support their careers. So I'm very pleased to talk about some of these introductions today. So the first of our new introductions is our new ACS in Focus ebook series. So these ebooks help readers of all levels accelerate their fundamental understanding of new topics and core techniques from across the sciences. In an instructional settings, these works bridge gaps between textbooks and literature. For seasoned scientists, they satisfy the hunger for continuous growth in knowledge and capability. These ebooks are about a 4 to 6 hour read, and they use layman's language so that newcomers can easily digest the topics. The very first ACS in Focus book, which was just launched, Machine Learning and Chemistry, is now available for preview on the website. ACS Publications responds to growth in scientific fields with the introduction of new journals, such as these ACS ES&T Water and ACS ES&T Engineering, both which expand our current environmental science journal portfolio. ES&T Engineering provides engineering solutions for environmental issues, and ES&T Water is dedicated to water research and policy. Both journals are now accepting submissions and will publish articles later this summer. When ACS launches a new journal, there's a rigorous evaluation process that involves the scientific community to determine the validity as well as the need for a new journal within a certain field. By the time a new journal is publicly introduced by us, it has already passed several internal stages of review by active researchers and American Chemical Society members, and has also received a commitment from ACS to support that field and its respective community for many years to come. We're also continuing to support and invest in open access options with the introduction of JAX Gold. JAX Gold will be a fully open access journal and has no charges to read or download articles. This journal is an opportunity for us to support scientists and researchers who are required to publish only in a completely open access journal. JAX Gold joins our portfolio of open access journals that include ACS Central Science and ACS Omega. JAX Gold will publish multidisciplinary work that highlights research from across chemistry fields. The journal will also follow in the footsteps of the Journal of the American Chemical Society's tradition of emphasizing work with a broad impact and relevance to the global chemistry community. SciMeetings is a new platform for showcasing scientific presentations and posters. This was introduced by ACS Publications back in March. SciMeetings allows poster authors to create a digital record of their scientific presentations from conferences and share it with a global audience through a searchable, indexed, and free-to-access portal. This service provides a timely option for presenters to share their work beyond the conference, and is also helpful when meetings are postponed, delayed, or canceled, such as our own ACS spring meeting that was to be held in Philadelphia, PA back in March. We adopted SciMeetings, and we were able to showcase more than 14,000 posters and talks that were originally scheduled for this event. Currently, submissions are linked to specific conferences, and we're working to introduce institution sections so authors' work can be linked back to their institution. And finally, I just want to say ACS Publications, we're very pleased to be sponsoring the NASIG conference again this year. And I thank you very much for your time. I think questions are at the very end of the session, but feel free to contact me by email at a_Clinton@acs.org if you have any offline questions that you may want to ask. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Andrew. Dave Solano from De Gruyter is up next. I'm gonna give y'all a minute to sharing screens around.
How's that?
Looks good. Thanks, Dave.
All right, thank you. Okay, big thanks to NASIG and to everyone in the audience for joining today. My name is Dave Solano from De Gruyter, and I'll be presenting to you De Gruyter's University Press Library, a strategic solution for overcoming a complex university press ebook ecosystem. To start, a bit of a background on the complex university press ecosystem that this University Press Library addresses. There we go. The University Press ebook ecosystem includes a network of suppliers, in other words, university presses, which are represented all the way to the left there, distributors and their business models, which are represented by the two columns in the middle, and ultimately customers, which are libraries all the way on the right-hand side. One could assume by this graphic that there's also competition, especially when it comes to authorship and distribution. At a glance, a novice might describe this ecosystem as nothing special and maybe even simple. However, just like most biological and business ecosystems, the University Press ebook ecosystem is anything but. The complexity of this ecosystem is quite expansive and creates multiple pain points for libraries and presses alike. On the library side of things, this complex ecosystem leads to a number of pain points that can be categorized under the heading messy, costly, and uncertain acquisition. Such pain points include not knowing what portion of the front list from a particular press will be available and in what format on an annual basis, and also costly duplicate purchasing. On the University Press side of things, this complex ecosystem leads to a number of pain points that can be categorized under the heading lack of support for the low-use scholarly monograph. Such pain points range from loss of valuable and historically relied upon print revenue to struggling to figure out what models and partner alignments will lead to the largest benefit for that particular press. Enter De Gruyter's strategic solution for addressing this messy ecosystem, and that is our University Press Library. Through De Gruyter's University Press Library, libraries are now able to purchase complete front lists of many prestigious North American university presses with all titles available in multi-use format with no digital rights management, all on one platform. Based on the results of a pilot that led to the creation of this official business model and the pain points that presses and libraries that participated noted, we feel strongly that this way forward is unique and one that is sustainable, not only for presses, but also for purchasing libraries. The Groters University Press Library now has 3 prestigious North American university presses, which we provide individual representation for. This quote-unquote individual representation is important as it highlights the Groter as being different from other organizations, as we don't aggregate this university press content. Rather, we focus our efforts from press to press, thus making the respective university proud in each and every instance, something that we promise all of our partners. So why the University Press Library for your library? There are a number of reasons why that we feel are strategic and significant for your library to consider. To start, we all recognize the previously mentioned presses as prestigious and world-renowned. However, it's worth noting that these presses continue to build upon their reputations, as evidenced by the publishing awards they continue to receive. Just a few examples from 2019 are summarized here. The University Press Library also provides purchasing libraries a trusted source of top quality content that spans not only the humanities and social sciences, but also many other areas important to contemporary curriculum, as summarized on the bottom of this slide. And speaking of relevant topics, here are some sample titles from subjects that are certainly significant in today's world, including equity, diversity, and inclusion, as well as the environment and sustainability. As you can see from the press clippings on this slide, a number of North American university presses have struggled in recent years, and some have even closed. When considering how important the scholarly output is from these presses, especially during this time of upheaval, it is also important to keep in mind where library dollars are going. In the case of the Groters University Press Library, you can rest assured that the vast majority of these dollars spent goes towards sustaining the respective presses, a true socially conscious investment. Finally, your library should consider the Groters University Press Library due to our business model. A business model through all of the points listed here provides the most complete digital record for each participating press. And a business model that I am now proud to say is held accountable via our high quality care standards. Standards that ensure that the purchased collections will be complete, easily discoverable, and used, thus allowing your institution to get the most out of your investment. And with that, I'd like to thank everyone once again for listening to me, and I look forward to your questions at the end.
Thanks, Dave. Great. Next up, we have Heather Piwawar from Our Research.
Super. Hi, everybody. Okay. Share screen. Good. Can you all see that?
Yep. You're good.
Awesome. Okay. Let me just get my timer going. Everybody, thrilled to be here. I don't know if you've heard of Unsub. If you haven't heard about it, I'm going to give you a bit of an overview. And if you have, I'm going to tell you a bit more about it. Okay. So my name's Heather. Our research is a nonprofit. We're all about open source, open data, open access. So all of that these days is super cool, but it's not the coolest thing. Unsub is the coolest thing, and I'm about to tell you more about that. So put on your seatbelts. You might have heard of Unpaywall. It is an open legal index of open access, and you are probably already using Unpaywall. It is the main source of links to open access copies in Web of Science, Scopus, ProQuest Summon, Dimensions, OCLC, and so on. In fact, your university might have it turned on in its link resolver, or you might have the handy dandy free browser extension installed. It looks like this little link, this little icon that pops up green whenever you're on a publisher page and we found a legal open access copy in a green repository somewhere. About 250,000 people have installed this over the last 2 years. So that's Unpaywall. We're the company behind that. And the way that it works is we find all the links for green open access copies, the links in journals, merge that with cross-ref metadata, and have this great big database, which we use to fuel open access links in all those places. We've actually authored a few papers looking at trends based on this open access data. So one a few years ago is this one called The State of OA, which you can check out. And another one was just earlier this year looking at the future of open access. And we learned some really interesting things. So specifically right now, about half of all uses of articles can be fulfilled by legal open access right now. And furthermore, if trends just keep going the way they have pre-COVID, it will be about 70% of all uses of articles will be open access in 5 years. Okay, so 50% now, 70% in 5 years. And that's not articles, that's use. Now, what if we flip that on its head? That means that right now, half of all articles have to be purchased, and 5 years from now, only 30% have to be purchased, right? And so that, of course, is why your subscription prices keep dropping. Just wanted to fill you in on that little detail. So of course your subscription prices aren't dropping, right? And this is an opportunity to bring data to your subscription decisions, data that wasn't as important before because open access wasn't a very big component, but it is now. And of course, in the last few months, everybody's thinking about money. Everybody's needing to tighten their belt. And so even this product just launched in November, Unsub just launched in November, but obviously in the last few months, it's become relevant to a lot more libraries and a lot more urgently relevant as people are doing this belt tightening and figuring out how can they use this growth in open access, as well as other things we'll look at, to find more money in their subscription budgets. How, in fact, can they cancel their big deal with confidence? Because your big deal is a package, is a bundle, and some of the things in there you don't need, and at this point you can't afford. But how do you find out what that is? We help you. So when you've looked at subscription value in the past, which of course everybody has, the normal things to include in that are looking at usage measured by downloads and cost as measured by subscriptions. So all we're doing is we're bringing some more data to that assessment of your subscription value. So we're looking at not just usage, sorry, not just downloads for usage, but also citations and authorship information. For cost, not just the cost of subscription, but the cost of ILL, because of course you want to make sure the faculty and students can get the research they need, even if you don't subscribe. So we need to factor in that alternative, that other cost. And then alternative access. You shouldn't pay for free, which means you shouldn't pay for open access, for the perpetual access you've already got, for ResearchGate, potentially other things like that. That's your real subscription value. And so we've got a forecast model to project your costs and fulfillment for every journal for the next 5 years. That's what Unsub is. The open access at the time of use, the back file at the time of use, we do all that complicated math for you and bring it all together into this forecast model. So you just bring your counter JR1 and we bring everything else. It's called Unsub. It looks like this. This is a scenario, it's a histogram of cost per use. I'm just blowing by this really quickly just to whet your appetite. You can drill into all the gory numbers. You can drill into a journal to look at the details there. This is the homepage. I encourage you to go check it out. It only costs $1,000 a year right now. We're a nonprofit. Our goal is to help libraries bring data to make the changes they need to make in scholarly communication. So right now, it costs $1,000 a year for a given institution. All it takes to get started is one counter file. That's it. You can optionally improve your model after that, but that's all it takes to get going. 300 libraries are using it already, more than 300. And again, we just launched in November. Including, as you might have read, SUNY is one of our earliest customers. They did an Elsevier cancellation. They're saving millions of dollars, and they say that it changed the conversation for them. They're not the only ones saying this. I encourage you to go check it out. It's at unsub.org. There's a free demo there, a video tour, a discussion group where you can ask questions as well as after here, and follow us on Twitter. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Heather. All right, next up I have Paula Brewster from EBSCO. And I'm going to try this again. Finish the screen. I will share. Share. All right, Paula, are you ready?
All right, thank you very much, everyone. I am Paula Brewster, and I'm a regional sales manager for EBSCO Information Services. I work on the subscription services side of EBSCO. And today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about SmartLinks Plus. Go ahead, Megan. Okay. So what do your users really want? Well, of course, right now, as they're working remotely, your patrons are looking for quick and easy access to the content that you've invested in. And EBSCO is a subscription vendor, and we're also a database provider. And because we are unique in this way, we are able to offer you this quick, easy access to content that you are subscribing to and paying, quite frankly, a lot of money for. Go ahead. One of the things that we are providing you behind the scenes is a linking service called SmartLinks Plus. So if you are an EBSCO subscription customer and you also purchase EBSCO host databases, what we are doing is automatically linking your EBSCO resources together. What that means is we are automatically linking your eJournal content to the EBSCO host resources that you are subscribing to. So for customers who are purchasing eJournals and eJournal packages, the good news is that without you having to do anything behind the scenes, this is automatically happening for you as an added value service. Go ahead.
Oh, no. Hold on. Okay.
So what are SmartLinks Plus? Whoops, can you go back one screen?
You bet. Okay.
Okay. What these are links that we set up behind the scenes. When eJournals were brand new several years ago, we created a service behind the scenes that would enable this linking for our EBSCO customers, allowing you to link from your journals while you're searching within your EBSCO host resources. Go ahead, Megan. SmartLinks Plus are links that are supported by a very large knowledge base of 34 million article links. So as your searchers are doing a search in EBSCO host, they are also searching your eJournal collection. We know that you have purchased that eJournal from EBSCO, so we're able to actually link them to the article level of the content of that eJournal. Go ahead. So if you're doing a search within an EBSCO resource, and in this case we're searching PsycInfo, the results will bring back full text. And as you can see, the linked full text limiter has been checked. What you should look for is that linked full text icon. When you see that, that is an eJournal that you are subscribing to from EBSCO. If you click on that link, go ahead, Megan. As you can see, there are a few here. It will take you right to the full access or the content of that article. Go ahead and click on that, please. And it will take the patron right to the article level. This is a seamless way to get to all of the content that you're subscribing to seamlessly for your students, especially now when your students are searching at home. This is great to know that they're going to be getting to the very collection that you are subscribing to and paying a great deal of money for. We realize that this is an added value for you. The good news is you don't have to do anything to make this work behind the scenes. It's all set up for you and working. If you can click the next screen. Smart Links is working behind the scenes of a lot of the resources that you might be subscribing to. For instance, if you're subscribing to Springer titles, this is an approximate number of titles that are available in these various indexes that you might already have on subscription. Wiley is another example. These are indexes that you might be subscribing to that have a lot of Wiley content. And finally, another example is Sage. If you're subscribing to any of these indexes, there's a lot of Sage content available in all of these, and your users will get access to the content that you own for all of these resources. Taylor and Francis is the final example. Thank you.
Thanks, Paula. All right, that was, let me stop sharing. That was my timer. We're at time. Let me see if there are any Q&As that came in. I'm not seeing any pending questions or open questions. Just as a reminder, we will keep the NASIG forum open and keep an eye on what's the questions that come in through there and monitoring for any questions that you might think of later. I hope you'll join us again in 10 minutes for our next session. And thank you again to all of our sponsors and to today's speakers in our sponsor lightning session. We appreciate everything that y'all contributed to help make the conference freely available for everyone. Thanks, y'all.
Thanks, Megan.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody.